What's kind of talk? It's Jake just providing a little bit of instant reaction to the fixture release dates that have come out this morning. Always one of the most exciting times of pre-season, alongside signings obviously and kit release, as it lets you plan the next year of your life around what not to do basically, which is great. Over the weekends and Tuesday nights. Um, I think everything's pretty much set. There's a couple of home fixtures that we've got clashes with Nottingham Forest. Although I don't quite get how that works, given the Premier League fixtures come out well before the EFL fixtures. So I don't know how there's not a conversation there that says, oh, let's move these. But obviously, I don't work in that field. I don't know how it works. I suppose some supercomputer generates it all for them. So yeah, and there's also obviously TV shifts because Sky are taking on a lot more games this year. And obviously, there'll be movement if teams get through in certain cup competitions, which will be nice for us this year, given we've not actually gone anywhere in the past 7 years, maybe, in a cup. Oh, if we can dream. So I'm just going to pick out a few of my interesting thoughts that I think are interesting about the obviously the fixtures and what's coming out and what's coming across. It's obviously very difficult to predict in terms of runs, etc., and who's going to be tough and who's going to be not, because we don't know the strengths and weaknesses of every team. Obviously, we can sort of predict and there's odds and things like that. But, given, like, for example, Crawley last year and Doncaster towards the end of the season, it's so tricky. So tricky to sort of know where your tough runs are going to come from at the start or at the end of the season or in the middle or whatnot. So I'll just pick out a few interesting sort of points that I feel are important to address. So I think firstly, it's the fact we're away on the opening day of the season. Again, it feels like every year we're away. I know we was at home to Maidenhead 2 seasons ago when we won 3-0 under Luke Williams' first season. But I think apart from that, I think every year we've been in the National League was away the first game of the season, and then obviously we're away against Tranmere now. Was away first game of last year as well to Sutton, and that was horrific, obviously, that 5-1 drubbing. But it is what it is, the way it's Tranmere. And I feel that the first couple of home games might be okay. In Fleetwood, Grimsby and Accrington. Played Grimsby early at home again in the season like we did last year. They're three teams that I don't think are going to make huge waves in League Two. Obviously, they all had quite poor seasons last year. Accrington with the manager shift, Fleetwood coming down, and Grimsby, staving up. Well, I know they weren't really close to being relegated, but they were down at the bottom there. So I think it's three early home games we could capitalise on quite well. Looking at it in terms of sort of the late September, early October, we've got a lot of miles to travel. We play Morecambe away on the 28th of September on the Saturday. That's about a 3 and a bit hour journey. And then we follow that up with a trip to Carlisle on the Tuesday night on the 1st of October, which is a 4+ hour journey on a Tuesday night easily. Which, in fact, both our games are against Carlisle on a Tuesday night, so we sort of, the favour's been returned about them having to come back to us. I don't get, again, what they tend to do this, though, because then again, later on in October, we play Barrow on a Tuesday night away from home, which is again a 3.5, 4 hour trip. So there's some mileage there to be done, and it's cost of living crisis, etc., for fans, and how expensive petrol is and things like that. Sometimes you just think it's a bit mad how they put some of these things together, but that's just my opinion on it. But it's clearly sort of the October period is a lot of travel. Although we do play Chesterfield away in there, so that's a nice short one for us. Boxing Day fixture, we're away. We've been at home quite a few times over the last couple of years on Boxing Day, so didn't surprise me that we're away. Forest are at home on that day as well. MK Dons, so quite local, just down the M1 for us. Well, for home-based Notts fans. Took a big away following last year, so I think for a Boxing Day fixture, that's a positive. It's not too far, not too difficult to get to. At least it won't be 50-odd degrees like it was last season there, which will be nice. New Year's Day, we're at home. Doesn't feel like we have too many New Year's Day home days at fixtures. New Year's Day fixtures at home. We're at home to Walsall, who travel quite well. Again, reasonably local, Birmingham way. So I think it would again be quite a big following coming up from Walsall on New Year's Day. So really positive on that one. So I think there'll be two really good. Got no complaints about the Boxing Day fixture or the New Year's Day fixture. Um, Again, not wanting to make over predictions or you know but I'm just going to give my opinion. But I think our running looks not too bad. Salford, Bradford, Cheltenham, Colchester. Four of the last 5 games, and all again teams that didn't do particularly well last year. One relegated team and 3 teams that were near the bottom. But again, I just keep flagging up Crawley, which is, was mind blowing last season how well they did. And then we finished the the season at home against Doncaster, which is again local, quite a big following. It could be an absolute nothing game, in which case it would be quite a nice atmosphere, if depending on how the season's gone, because it's 10 months away. So anything could happen, or it could be a game for something really important. Hopefully a title, maybe not a relegation battle. So yeah. So it's very difficult to predict these things, but they're just the key things that I picked off the top of my head. So there's some good in there, there's some bad. I think some of the Tuesday night travel is going to be a bit of a pain, especially around that October period. As I was saying, those 3 away games to really up north in the country. Obviously there's some away games in London again in terms of Wimbledon, Bromley. Just a few tricky fixtures to get to and back from. But overall, I think we've got some good key fixture dates in terms of especially the Boxing Day, New Year's Day, and then the final game of the season. So yeah, I think all there is now is just to have a kit release, maybe a small signing or two, and then we're about all ready to go. So see you pre-season. You pies.